All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Correct Loser. I hope you're doing well. So, folks, today we're going to talk about the Astroworld Festival disaster nightmare. As of recording this, 9 people died. 110 people have grouped up in a massive lawsuit. There's other lawsuits going around. As of yesterday, a restraining order was filed that would make it illegal for anybody that had a hand in planning the event. It makes it illegal for them to delete any emails or text messages that were sent in the buildup. I think that's how it could go from civil lawsuit hell into criminal charges, negligent, whatever, is if there's emails or text messages where someone goes, I would like to raise a couple safety concerns. And if there was a response like, yeah, whatever, let's rage, then I think things could get very interesting. I'm interested what comes out on all the emails and texts. Just to get prepped up to do this episode and talk about it, I watched a little bit of the 2019 Netflix original Travis Scott documentary, and within the first minute or two, it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing is, it's like it shows the fans breaking down the barricades in that, and like, look how like cool this is. They break down the fences, the security's running for their life, like, oh my God. There's one fan goes, fuck security, I'm gonna rush the fucking stage. It's like, all right, well, why don't you calm down there, son? There's small females in the audience just trying to listen to the music, all right? Try to get that empathy. Try to find that empathy, son. A whole nother group of 19-year-old boys are going, the youth run this, the youth run this. It's like, hate to break it to you, kid, but you don't run anything. You run a big fat nothing, just a big goose egg. But that's the world that Travis Scott has wanted to cultivate, and it's great for business, right? Come, the youth run it. Let's rage. I've never heard a music scene, overuse the word rage like the Travis Scott people. Back when I used to be like a live music head, music festivals, the whole thing, that's what we did too. We had a friend that overused the word rage. Everything was rage this, rage that. I'm raging right now. This weekend's gonna rage. I raged last weekend. And we started calling him Ragin' Robbie. And then a couple years after that, he had matured a little bit. And he asked us, he was like, listen, guys, would you mind not calling me Ragin' Robbie again? That girl that I've been dating. After we left the other night, she asked, why does all your friends call you Ragin' Robbie? So if you don't mind, just call me Rob from now on. And we were like, we'll see what we can do, Ragin' Robbie. You made your bed. But the whole thing of the Travis Scott world, it's like the fences gotta be broken down. If at least one railing has to be bent, or it's not a proper rage, man. Woo! And just all Travis Scott up on stage. If you watch the whole concert's on YouTube, knowing that people are fighting for their lives in the audience, hearing Travis Scott being like, who's ready for a little bit more raging? It's hard to watch. I watched a bunch of TikTok story times where people that were there talk about it, and one of the things that I found really interesting is a kid that had been to a bunch of Travis Scott concerts before was saying the layout of the stage was just a disaster. And I went and found an overhead view of it, and then I drew it out. So let's talk about why it didn't give anybody a chance for safety or success to have this setup. So, all right, here we go. So the stage is right here, right? I labeled it stage. And then he had this little stage area that he could come out and go back and forth. And all the blue lines are barricades. So the kid was saying on TikTok that because these things that I labeled not good are huge production towers where it looks like lighting and sound and there's big speaker towers and the whole thing. but these take up a ton of room, right? And they're tall. And here in the middle is like a VIP area. So just the normal person, say you walk into the concert right here, the TikTok kid said, back here, because these were so tall and this is the VIP area, all of these, which is normally like a great place to stand if you're at a concert, all of these were just useless. You didn't feel like you were a part of the action. So, say you came in early, I can't wait to have some fun, it's a festival. So you came in, the only way to get up to these pits here, right? This is a big area where this was a huge area, this is a huge area, and this is a huge area. And then technically, out here, but like the guy said, these seats, you couldn't see anything, you didn't feel a part of it. Everybody, you'd go around, you got to go around this, steel barricade. So you're going around, they're going around, they're going around. So say you got there early, let's go get some good seats, and you put yourself right here. Okay, there's a barricade right here, there's a barricade right here. If you can make it to that barricade and somehow get over it, then you can walk out. But people, even that were right up next to it, like the barricade's right here, and they're just going, please help. Like it's so tight you can't even get over. And why this is just a horrifying nightmare setup is, okay, so you're standing right there. It's 10 minutes before the show starts. It's probably super crowded, but you're thinking, all right, we got good seats. Here we go. Then the lights go down. And then Travis Scott's hacky auto-tune, hey, I'm a hack, his auto-tune hackness starts playing, the lights go down. Well, now thousands of people that are out here, just like that kid going, I'm in a rush, the stage, I don't have any empathy for anyone, rage. So so you're standing right here thinking, all right, it's crowded, but we're good. And then all these people start filing this way, boom, into these areas, pushing this way. And these two. So this section, this section, this section, and this section just turned into these oceans of people, and you can't leave. You can't go back. You can't go this way. You're just stuck in this, like a blender of people. And so look, this is what this one was, right? You guys been looking at it? This is the tried and true rock and roll setup. You got your stage, you got your sound and lights, production area walled off here, but look how open it is. If you're here and you're not having fun, there's so many directions to go to get the hell out of there. This, you got a steel barricade everywhere you go except going this way and out here, but there's so many people coming up and around that it's really hard. A dad says he was like in one of these, I think, with his son, and then his son wanted a t-shirt, and so he goes, all right, you sit here, I'm going to go and buy you a t-shirt. So he left to go to the the merch table, and the concert started, and he immediately was like, all right, I'm just going to head back. And by the time he was coming back, so you got to think, 2 or 3, 5 minutes, 10 minutes after the show started, he said already people were filing out of these areas and coming out like, And so already just the initial, 2, 3 minutes already people were trying to escape. So pretty horrifying. I think a lot of it has to do with Travis just doesn't he just can't take it if it doesn't look really cool and packed. A lot of times when they let the appropriate amount of people in this tight area, everybody kind of rushes to the stage, and there's a lot of open space in the front. I really don't think Travis Scott thinks that's cool enough for him or the whole thing. It doesn't look rage. And so he's gotten in trouble in the past for saying, all right, come on, fill that in. 2015, a security guard in Arkansas broke his leg because he was, I don't want that safe space to be there. And so here are my tips for, went to all the music festivals, the whole thing, and here's just a couple tips to keep yourself safe at something like this. All right. Tip number 1, usually the gates, there'll be like gates open at 6, concert starts at 9 or starts at 8. The gates, if it's a highly anticipated event, don't go anywhere near the gate, because that's where a lot of people, especially if they're like, if I don't get to the front, if I'm not this close to the band, I am going to just die. I have to be in the front. Let that mentally ill person just do their thing. Stay in the parking lot, stay in your car, just let the stormers that I have to be close, let that whole event take place, because that's where it can really turn bad quick, because there's all those people, they want to get a good spot, and it's filing through the security gates, and it's even a lot of times filing a bunch of people through a smaller opening than once you get into the concert. So that's the times where I've been in. Like, you're sitting there waiting to, go through the gate, show them your ticket, and maybe the security's taken forever, and people, the hundreds and hundreds of people behind you are getting restless, and they don't know what's going on, and I've been maybe like 10 people from getting my ticket checked and going through the gate, and all of a sudden, people way back there are done waiting, and all of a sudden you're just pressed up against everyone, and so... Like I said, forget about the front. It's better to just be a little bit farther back, have some room to dance. So just forget about the gate when it opens, especially a Travis Scott concert, because it sounds like the whole thing is like, if we don't knock the gate down, are we even having fun? So, and there was a security guard at Astroworld. They were like, all right, your job is going to be the gate. And once he saw the situation, he was like, I'm going home. I quit. And so I would say, even if it's set up right, I would say forget this section. The people in this section, they got something going on, in my opinion. So like this right here, this is where I go at concerts, right in front of the soundboard. Great sound, it looks good. If there's a crowd rush, they got to go around this. You kind of are protected right here. Don't go right here, because if there's a crowd rush, you'll get squished against this gate. But I mean, like, hanging out like here, all of these places, usually you're not going to run into a problem with some rage monkey going, I need to rage. I would have recommended for the Astroworld, go in way after the whole storm the gate, get yourself a hot dog and a bottle of water, and stand right here. That would have been safe, because standing in here, you were just in a hell world for an hour. And I think that's all I got. What a nightmare. I felt so bad for the families. The most recent one to die, her name was Barty. Her parents did a press conference yesterday, and as you can imagine, her parents, the whole thing is like, we sent our beloved daughter to this festival, and this is what happened. And so it's utterly heartbreaking. Travis Scott did a statement where it's totally bizarre. It's black and white, and he's touching his head the whole time. I don't know if his head itches or what, but he's just going, I could never imagine anything like this happening. It's like, what? Everything that you've ever done to build your audience was leading to this. And he has to pretend like they're doing something, but it comes off as just a kind of lizard-esque. He's going, yeah, we are working hard to identify the families. We are working hard. It's like, well, good job. You have a multi-million-dollar organization. Surely your people can figure out the families. Thanks, Travis. But we'll keep an eye on it. I think the most interesting thing for me is, like I said, once those emails and texts get looked at and all come out, it will be interesting to see if this moves from the civil lawsuit world into the criminal charges. Yeah, pretty fascinating. I'm going to cut it off there. Love you all. See you guys soon. Why? Stivin' why? Shamita.